Are we?
That's what it says.
We're live!
We're live!
Your makeup looks good.
Oh,
Did you use something different?
I just know. I have bright lipstick on right now.
Me too.
I got my hair done.
Maybe that's what it is.
My hair is pretty red.
Maybe it's bringing out your...
Oh, look, it's my mom. Did you make it back to Texas? I guess so.
I guess so.
I guess so. See if anybody else joins us. Hi.
Just landed.
Hi. Yay.
Yay.
Hello. Rachel, hey girl,
Hey,
what's
girl.
up? You want to take some class? Because we'll get started if you do.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. All right. We are going to get started. Bianca,
Yeah.
go ahead and lay down flat on your mat. Everybody else at home, you can do the same. Arms along by your side, and let's get started with some breath here. So take one hand, place it on your heart, take the other hand, place it on your belly, and start to breathe. And as you breathe, inhale and fill the belly up with air, and then exhale and just reflexively let it come out. And while you're doing this, I want your tailbone to get really heavy on the mat. With every exhale, try to drop it down heavier, more. And that's gonna cause you to come into neutral spine. So you have enough room behind your low back for a big blueberry. Good, and stay right here in neutral. And we're not gonna do like our breathing tilt and release, but just kind of rock your pelvis forward and back so that you feel the difference between imprinting your low back and arching your spine a little bit, like overarching. And then finally find yourself in neutral, which is where your two back hip points are down on the mat. And you have enough space behind your back for a blueberry. Good. And then bring your arms on by your side and let's warm up the Pilates curl. So creepy crawl your fingertips towards your heels as long as you can. Get space between your shoulders and your ears. Tuck your chin to your chest and then just curl up to the tips of your shoulder blades and try to lengthen your fingertips longer to your heels and then lower your head all the way down. Good. And let's do that again. Crawl your fingertips forward, draw your chin to your chest, curl up from the abdominal connection and then roll all the way down. Two more times like that. Crawl forward with those hands, reach long to the heels, and then lower the head, neck, and shoulders down. Last time, curl up and stay curled up. Bring one leg to tabletop, bring the other leg to tabletop. Lower your left leg down, and then lower your right leg down, and then lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Good, let's do that again. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Lift one leg to tabletop, bring the other leg to tabletop, lower the right leg, lower the left leg, come down out of your curl, and then curl up. We'll do this two more times. Lift the right, lift the left, lower the right, roll it down. Last one, curl up, left leg to tabletop, right leg draws up, right leg lowers, left leg lowers. Lower your head, neck, and shoulders. Take a breath. Good. Bring your head, neck, and shoulders up. Hover your arms by your sides about an inch above your abdominal wall. Bring your right leg to tabletop and your left leg to tabletop. If it's available to you, send your legs to a high 45 and start to pump your arms up and down for your 100. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going just like this. You have 8 more breaths here. I want you to think about drawing in the whole midline of your abdominal wall down towards the ground with every exhale. Nice. You're halfway there. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 5. Exhale, 2, 3. 3 more breaths. Shoulders away from ears. Try not to let them creep up and try not to hold your head up with your neck. Last breath. Inhale, 2. It's all in the scoop. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop pumping. Bend your knees. Lower your head. Take a breath. That's our 100. Let's move right into our roll-up. So send your legs long on the mat. Legs can come together. Flex your feet. Bring your arms up over your shoulders and then roll all the way up to sit. So peel up off the mat, dive forward, get a big capital C shape in the body, and then roll all the way down, bone by bone. So one thing I want to make sure you're not doing at home, keep going, Bianca, you'll peel right back up, is collapsing forward over your thighs. I want you to instead have a big capital C shape, but that's like the number one thing that we commonly see as a mistake or a misunderstanding. So the abs are scooping to lift the ribs, and then you lower right back down. Let's do one more. Roll all the way up, using your exhale and the belly wrap to get there. And then inhale and roll all the way down, one bone at a time. Good, and then just press your hands down by your side into the mat. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Bend your right knee into your chest. And put your hands behind your thigh and give your leg a little stretch up to the ceiling to limber it up. Just a little stretch, and bend the knee and straighten. And make sure that that right hip is hanging really heavy down into the mat. You're gonna get a big stretch across the hamstring. One more time, sit it long, leave it long. Bring your hands down by your sides. Make sure the back of your body is really hugging the mat. You could put a small bend in your knee a bit to really free up that quad. Go across the body, down, around, and up. Good. Inhale across and around, exhale to lift. Now your goal here, number one most important thing, is keeping your hips totally still. So how do I determine my range of motion? I determine my range of motion reverse directions, down, across, and up. Inhale, lower, exhale, across to lift. I determine my range of motion by making sure that my leg is as big as it possibly can be without my hips wobbling around on the mat. Last two. One more. Bend your knee in, take a breath, give it a little squeeze, and then send the leg long on the mat, and let's switch sides. So left leg comes in, hands behind the thigh, give it a nice little stretch here up to the ceiling. Drop that left hip down into the mat, bend the leg and straighten, and bend and send it up. Two more times. Lengthen, last one, send it up, leave it long. Bring the hands on down by your sides. Put that small bend in your knee today, and then come across your body, down and around, and straight back up. Inhale. I like what Bianca's doing. She's doing a really good job of using her abdominals and a little extra engagement of them to lift the leg up to her face. So it's not just her leg working, it's her abs, and then reverse directions. So after this one, go straight down, hug the inner thigh across, and use an abdominal lift to bring it back up. 3 and 2. One more. Bend your knee in, give it a little squeeze. Take a breath. Good. Now we'll set up for rolling like a ball. So send your legs forward, send your arms straight up to the ceiling, and do a solid roll up to come up to sit if you can. Otherwise, just get there however you're able. And then scoot your butt forward on the mat, close to your heels. Moving your arm right through this order, right? So hands around the legs, hold onto the shins. Round your spine, sit behind your tailbone, and lift your feet up. You're gonna do 5 rolling like a balls today. So you inhale, tilt your pelvis, roll to the tips of your shoulder blades. Exhale, pull your abs and come right back up. Stop at the top. Try to stop on a dime. Round down. Use your abs for your break at the top, but keep that round spine. Bianca's doing a nice job. Make sure you're still rounding at home. Is this one more for 5? Roll back, roll all the way up. Lower your feet down, put your feet flat, separate your feet inner hip distance apart, parallel, send your arms long in front of you. We're gonna take a slow roll down to go down. So you're gonna come down 1/4 of the way and pause. Hold here. And then roll down halfway and pause. Your low back is not quite on the mat yet. Now just put your low back on the mat, only stop. Good. See if on the way down you can scoop your abs even more as you control the upper body all the way down. Very nice. Scoop back a little bit if you want on your mat. Make sure your whole back is on your mat. We're going to set up for our ab series. So hug your knees into your chest. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Put both hands on your right leg. The right hand goes to the ankle, the left hand is on the knee. Send your left leg long and switch your hands and your legs at the same time. This is your single leg stretch. Your option could be to have your head, neck, and shoulders down if those abs aren't strong enough to hold you up. Bianca, send your arms on by your sides. No arms for Bianca because she is intermediate/advanced, but if you're intermediate, you could be doing this version. You have 3 and switch. 2 and switch. Last 1 and switch. Bend your knees in, lower your head down. Take a breath. Beautiful. Good. How you feeling?
Good.
Warm?
Yep.
Warm. It's warm. She was warm when she did the 100. By now, she's on fire.
Yes.
Amazing. Let's do our double leg stretch. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders right back up. Send your legs to a high 45-degree diagonal. Send your arms long by your ears, behind your ears. Circle your arms around, grab your knees, hug your knees in. Send everything long and away from each other. Stretch, exhale, pull it in. Keep going. I want you to imagine that you have a balloon deflating in your abdominals to draw your arms and your legs back in and scoop even more. Do 2 more, lengthen and come in. That's so nice. Your legs could be low for a challenge or higher for not a challenge. And then pause, lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. Not a challenge.
Still a challenge though.
Well, yeah, everything. Challenge is Pilates. I mean, you wouldn't do it if it wasn't hard. You'd be like, no, I'm good. Sometimes I'm like that anyway.
Yeah.
So, because it's hard.
Sorry.
Okay. That was our double leg stretch. Now we do our scissors. So curl your head, neck, and shoulders up and send both legs up to the ceiling. Take both hands behind your right thigh, calf, or ankle, whatever you're able to reach, but most importantly, the backs of your legs are long and your booty is down. That was a good adjustment, Bianca. And then you're gonna pulse this right leg towards your face twice. Don't move your left, leave it up. Pulse, pulse. Come right in line with the other leg, maybe a slight lower, but not far, and pulse, pulse, and switch, and pulse, pulse, and switch. It's a super small scissor today. Trying to keep this maybe like, what is that, like 85 degrees. No further. Good. And switch, thinking about straightening the backs of the legs, and switch, and switch. Bend your knees in, lower your head, take a breath. For our lower lift, your modification, if you have any low back issues, is hands behind your low back. If you're doing that, I want you to lift your elbows up away from the floor to engage that upper body. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Otherwise, have your hands behind your head if you have no low back issues. Legs go straight up to the ceiling. Inhale and lower your legs halfway down. Think about lengthening them longer to lift them back up with the abs. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lengthen and lift. 3 more times, down and lengthen up. 2 down, lengthen to lift. 1 more down, lengthen to lift. Bend your knees in, take a breath. We're gonna do 1 more set of those where we play with the tempo. So this time, same exercise, you're gonna go down for 3 and 2 and 1, up on 1. 3 times, and then we'll reverse that. Down and 1, up for 3 and 2 and 1. So 3 times in each. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up, keep your tailbone anchored, and then send the legs high. You're gonna lower down, 3 and 2 and 1. Lift on 1. Use those abs. Inhale to lower and lengthen. Exhale, lengthen to lift. 1 more time, just like that. Slow and fast, and then let's reverse. Down quick, and then lift slowly. Inhale, lower. Lift really slow. Down in 1, and then up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Bend your knees, lower your head. You're up. We're almost done with the ab series. Take your hands, place them behind your head. We're kind of just like moving through this. So this is like the flow that we want to move with. If you're not keeping up, that's okay. Take it at your pace, and eventually we'll get here. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Send 1 leg long, twist your torso to the bent knee, and switch. And switch. And here you're really focusing on a big rotation in the rib cage, trying to get your armpit to your knee, not your elbow to your knee, and like, see how Bianca faces the camera and then faces away? That's what we're going for. You have 2 more on each side. Try to curl up off your shoulder blades here as high as you can, and then come to the middle. Lower everything down. Take a breath. Good. Place your hands behind your thighs. Actually, let's do this. Let's do a rolling like a ball up from laying down, which is a little bit challenging. Take your hands, wrap them around your shins, set it the same way you typically do for rolling like a ball. Now, the fact of the matter here, coming from this position, you will have to use a little bit of momentum, but I want you to keep the focus on your abs. So you're gonna use your abdominals, tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale here, give yourself a little bit of momentum to rock up to the top and stop on a dime. Good, and then lower your feet down. Scoot your butt back so your legs are long, and we'll set up for spine stretch forward. So legs open the width of the mat, arms come along in front of you. Now we did all of that flexion laying down. Let's move it to sitting. Think about lifting your spine really tall, and then peeling up and over your abdominals to reach forward. Bring your shoulders with you, bring your neck with you, keep your ribs back, and then rebuild your spine up tall and sit up the wall. Press down into imaginary table to reach forward, up and over it. And then use your abdominal connection to rebuild. So it's a small movement or a seemingly simple movement. Keep going 2 more times. But it takes a lot of work here in the abs. And lift One more time, lift and lengthen forward. And then come all the way back up to sit. Open your arms slightly. We'll set up for saw. Twist your torso. Face one side. Dive forward. Saw off your pinky toe with your pinky finger. Come up to sit in your twist and then go to the other side all the way. Dive forward. Saw off the finger. What's that about? Uh-oh. I bet it's like storage.
Oh no.
Yep. Close.
Are we still
It was
live
just
though?
paused. We're live. We're live.
Yay.
It was just paused.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Back to saw.
Back to saw. Twist and dive.
What was it, storage?
It was storage. I have to clean up.
Jenny.
I know. My phone is always short on storage.
All the time.
All the time. Literally. Good. And then one more time in each direction. Twist to the other side. Come back to center. Zip your legs. Bring your arms right in front of you and roll all the way down to the mat. Watch your head. You're good, you're good, you're good. Yeah, and then scoot forward. Yeah. Okay, so saw. Let's do a little corkscrew. So bend your knees into your chest. Head stays down for this exercise. Arms glue to the mat. Send both legs straight up to the ceiling. Pilates stance your feet. We're gonna go right into it. So your legs go all the way to one side as far as you can go. They circle down around towards the ground to the other side as far as you can go and back to center. Back in the other direction, down and around all the way to the other side and back to center. Keep going just like this. Your hips can move. Your rib cage is gonna stay anchored on the mat. It does not move. Inhale as you circle around. Exhale to lift. One more time, inhale, circle around, exhale to lift, and then bend your knees. Take a breath. Good. Place your hands behind your thighs. Rock up to sit. Turn over to your belly. Let's set up for swan. Good. So hands come right underneath your shoulders. Let's be there today. Your feet could be internally rotated. The reason being I want your glutes to be relaxed, so let those go. Lift your abdominals up off the mat like there's a fire there. You don't want it to burn you. Use a light grip with your hands. Use your back to lift your chest up over the middle of your back. Lengthen your spine, lower all the way down. Good. It's a light grip here on the hands. Lengthen and peel up. Keep your lowest ribs on the mat and lengthen to lower all the way down. One more time, just like that. Peel up and lengthen, 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 lengthen. Okay, now hover your hands 2 inches off the mat. Pull your abs in and lift from the back up. Same thing, hold. Lengthen, lower all the way down. 2 more times. Your back lifts you up and you hold. Lengthen, lower down. You have 1 more just like this. Try to keep just an apple shape between your chin and your chest. Lift from your back. Relax your feet. Let your legs go. Yeah, and lengthen and lower all the way down. Good. Prop yourself up on your forearm. Bring your hands into fists and bring your knuckles together like you're wearing rings and they're touching. Press up away from the mat so your chest is tall and proud and lift your abdominals up. We're gonna do a neck stretch here. So look so far behind your right shoulder that you're trying to gaze at your feet. Tuck your chin to your chest, curl and roll your neck to the other side. Look to the left like you're gonna look at your feet. Come back to center. Look left all the way, tuck your chin, roll it. So it's not a throwaway motion, it's really this big stretch. Come back to center each direction. Go right again, stretch, tuck the chin, roll the neck, back to the left. Come to center, 1 more time, left, tuck and roll all the way around, go to the right, bring the gaze back to center. Good, and then let's do single leg kicks here. So scoot your, is that good for you, Bianca?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, cool. So your legs could be zipped together. If you have any knee issues or low back issues that flare up when your legs are together, bring your legs to parallel inner hip distance apart. And then you're gonna pull your belly in, kick your butt with one heel twice, lower it down, switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Try to eliminate a lot of rocking forward and back here. Keep your abdominals lifted. Use your hamstrings. So try to let the knees go and really pinch with the back of the thigh. 1 more time on each side to even yourself out, and then you'll stop. Now lower everything down. Send your arms long in front of you. We're gonna do swimming. Setting up for swimming. So Bianca, you can scoot back and send your arms long underneath the mantle or whatever this is called, bookshelf. Lift everything up off the mat, keeping your abdominals engaged, your feet and your arms hover, and you swim your arms and your feet as quickly as you can without letting your torso rock around a whole lot for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Pause, lift everything up higher, lower everything down as you lengthen the body. Good. Put one hand on the mat, come back to sit into a child's pose, and take a breath. Good. And here, just really let your glutes go, let your quads go, let your hips go, fill up your pelvic floor with air. Think about it expanding wide. Good. And then when you're ready, roll up to sit and lay on your back. And we'll do some neck pull. Good. Bring your legs long on the mat. Separate the legs inner hip distance apart. Bring your hands behind your neck. Your goal is to keep your elbows wide. That's extremely challenging. So if the elbows come in here on the way up, that's okay as a starter. We're working towards wide elbows. You're thinking about pressing your heels down into the mat. Tuck your chin into your chest and roll all the way up. If you can't get up from here, you can break your arms however you need to get yourself up. Dive forward to your forehead to your knees. Hug your elbows in. Lift your spine. Sit tall at the top of your sits bones. Try to lift your spine out of your hips. Tuck your spine. Look at your belly button. Roll down with control. Good. 2 more like that. Tuck your chin. Try to keep those elbows wide as you peel up. I know it's really hard. Forehead to knees. Elbows hug in. Lift the spine. Open the elbows. Pull the spine out of the hips. Tuck, round your spine, roll all the way down. 1 more just like that. Tuck your chin, roll up. Press your heels down. Good, bring your forehead to your knees, close your elbows in. Sit up nice and tall, lift the spine here. Now, hinge back as long as you possibly can. When you can't go anymore, tuck your pelvis, round your spine, control yourself down. Good. Stay here, bring your hands long by your sides, bend your knees, place your feet close to your butt on the mat. So we're gonna do some shoulder bridge. Press your palms down and your wrists and your forearms, everything's hugging the floor. Collarbones are wide, peel your hips up to the ceiling 1 bone at a time. Roll your spine down 1 bone at a time. Try to find even more articulation as you peel up. Every single bone lifts 1 by 1. Every single bone lowers 1 by 1. Do 1 more. Lift all the way up. We'll add on here. Bend your right knee into your chest. Sit it straight up to the ceiling. Flex your foot. Lower it halfway down. Point. Kick it all the way up. Flex. Lower halfway. Point. Kick it up. For 2 more. Lengthen to lift. Make it longer. Bend your knee, place your foot down. Lift your hips higher. Melt your spine down slowly with control. As soon as your butt touches, take an inhale, exhale. From your abdominal connection, peel your hips up. Left leg comes into your chest, send it straight up to the ceiling. Flex the heel, lower it halfway down, point to kick it up. For 4 and 3, beautiful. You're trying to keep your hips still. Bianca's doing this so well. 1, bend your knee, place the foot down, lift your hips higher, lower your spine, bone by bone. Good, let's do 3 more, just lifts and lower down. Imagine that you have a ball in between your knees, so you're kind of giving it a little hug. You're not gonna let the knees open wide to the side, but you're also not gonna come like into a knock knee position, so they're distant, they're at inner hip distance apart, and you have a little bit of tension trying to pull them together. Do 1 more, peel it up, and roll it down. Good, turn on over to your side. Let's do a little side series here. So measure yourself at the back edge of the mat with your hips and shoulders stacked in 1 long straight line. Lift from here, use your abdominals with your hand on the mat as you hug your abdominals in, lift both feet and bring them to the front edge of the mat. Good. Lift your top leg up to hip height, and let's do our front and back here. So kick it front twice and sweep it back. With a flexed foot, you kick. With a pointed toe, you sweep it back. Good. And you're trying to keep the bottom leg stable, the top hip stable. Stretching the front of the leg as you sweep back, stretching the back of the leg as you come forward. Let's do one more just like that, and sweep it back, and then lower the leg down on top of the other leg. Let's go straight to our circle. So flex your heel, lift the leg up on the top, and then draw a circle on an imaginary wall with the heel. Really thinking about carving out the back of that circle as big as you can go without compromising your hip stability. That's how you determine your range of motion. Point your toe, reverse your circle. That's it. 3, 2, and 1. Lower your leg down. Take a breath. Good. Lift your top leg up, bend your knee, place your foot on the mat in front of you. We're gonna go right into our circles with the inside leg. So lift it up and then start a circle here. Flex the foot and circle. Drawing a circle on an imaginary wall. Trying again to keep your hips still. Trying not to let that top hip collapse in. It's nice and long. Abs are hugging in and lifted. 2 and 1. Point your toe and reverse directions. 3 and 2. And 1. Lower your leg down. Lengthen the top leg on top of the other one. Let's go right to our bicycle. So lift your leg up to hip height. Bend your knee into your chest. Straighten your leg long. Sweep the straight leg back. Point the toe, heel to your butt. And just keep going like this, like you're riding a big one-legged bicycle. Good. And that hip is trying to stay still. That's really a lot of the work here. And reverse directions. 3 and 2. Last one, lengthen that leg long, lower it down. Good. Roll onto your back. Take your figure 4 stretch. It should feel really, really good. So your working leg comes over your opposite knee. You can hug that leg into the chest if that feels good. You could rock the hips away if it feels good. Good, good, good. And breathe and relax the pelvic floor. Find a lot of space in your rib cage as you breathe in. Find space in your back of your body. Good. And then uncross your legs. Roll to the other side. Turn over. So we do the other side. You have 2 sides. 2 sides. So in Pilates, we have to do them both. I can't let you go uneven. So put your hands on the mat, your top hand on the mat, and then lift both legs up together and swing them forward towards the front of the mat. Perfect. Lift the top leg up with a flexed foot. We start our front and back. So sweep it front, kick, kick, sweep it back with a stretch. Front, kick, kick, and back with a stretch. Trying to stabilize those hips. This side wants to rock a little bit more, Bianca. So watch that rock. There you go. Do 2 more here. And 1 more. Bring the leg back on top of the bottom leg. Lower it right down. Flex the foot. We go into our circle. Lift the top leg up. And you'll draw your circle here. As big as you can make your circle without letting your hips move around, shimmy, shake. Good. That's it. And if you pull your abs in and lengthen your top hip, you might start to feel a little lift on the low side of the body. That's awesome. And then point your toe, reverse the direction of this circle. So that means both sides are working and lengthening, which is pretty cool. That TVA connection is strong. For 3 and 2 and 1. Lower the leg down. Bend the knee. Place the foot on the mat in front of you. Lift the bottom leg up and draw your circle with this leg with a flexed heel. Inner thigh is what's kind of moving towards the ceiling and controlling down and around from the abs. Point the toe and reverse directions. Abdominals are drawing in. Good. For 3 and 2. Last one, lower that leg down. Restack the top leg onto the bottom leg. Bring both feet forward more. Bianca, you might want to do that at home. Just check in. Make sure those heels are aiming right towards the front edge. Lift the top leg off the bottom leg. Do we go right into bicycle? Yeah. Bend your knee, straighten your leg, sweep it back, heel to butt. Good. You're riding your big bicycle wheel here. Keep thinking about dropping this hip far away. Yeah, so maybe make it a little smaller, Bianca. There you go. Take keep this hip a little more stable. So that's a pro tip. If you feel like your hips are mamboing, you can make a smaller range of motions. Usually that'll quiet it down. And reverse directions of your circle. Again, we only go so big as we can keep our hips still. In Pilates, typically do 2 more. One thing is moving while everything else is still. Good, and then lower the leg down. Roll onto your back and take your figure 4 stretch. Perfect. Hug your knee into your chest with your working leg crossed across the other. And find your stretch here. Big breaths in. Good. Good. Uncross your legs. Place your hands behind your thighs and rock up to a seated position. Perfect. Let's come to all fours. Come on to all fours with your hands right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. And here, you're gonna start doing your abdominal breathing. So you let the belly wall go on your inhale, and you're gonna wrap the abdominals around you on your exhale. And once you start doing this, you're gonna, on your exhale, lift your right hand and your left knee, just let them hover off the mat and lower it down. And switch sides. Left hand, right knee lift just to a hover and lower down. And go side to side here, trying not to rock your hips a whole lot. So if you had a glass of wine, I just got distracted by a glass of wine. A glass of wine sitting on your tailbone or your sacrum, it would not spill. That's your goal. Don't spill the wine because you're going to want to drink it later. Good. Lift and lower. So this requires so much of a deep abdominal connection, and it looks like it's really easy, but if you're doing it with all the control from the core, it's actually really challenging. Do 1 more on each side to even yourself out. That's it. Last one. Good. And then turn onto your back. Set up for teaser. So lay down flat on your back. Your abs should be on fire now. Your hips should be super stable. That should help with that. Bend your knees into your chest. We'll do 3 teasers. Arms go straight up to the ceiling. Send your legs to a high 45 or a tabletop, depending on where you are. Peel your head, neck, and shoulders up and sit right behind your sits bones with a tucked pelvis, reaching for your toes. Take a breath in. Exhale, keep your feet where they are as you melt your spine down. When your shoulders touch, take an inhale. Exhale, tuck your chin, peel right back up. Reach for your toes, chest is tall and proud. Collarbones are open. Take an inhale. Exhale, roll right back down. When your head and shoulders touch, take an inhale. Exhale, peel right back up. Reach for your toes. Inhale here. Exhale, roll all the way down. Hug your knees in. Put your hands on your knees, like on top of them, and then give your knees a little stir. So roll those femur bones around in your hip joints, and then reverse directions. Good. Put your hands behind your thighs, rock up to a seated position. Good. Let's do seal. So sit here, scoot your butt towards your heels, take your hands into a prayer position, dive them into the middle of your legs, wrap the hands around the ankles this time, and come into your rolling like a ball shape. Click, click your heels together twice, roll back to the tips of your shoulder blades, click, click twice, come back up. Do 4 more like that. Click, 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 click. Good. Inhale back just to the tips of your shoulder blades as best as you can. So try to find that break there at the back where you don't come onto your shoulders or your neck. Good. Do 1 more. Rock back. Come all the way up. Carefully place your feet down. Good. And then come up to stand. Arms are going to come straight up to the ceiling. Shrug your shoulders down your spine. Roll down off an imaginary wall. Find your hands on the mat. And when you do, walk out into a high plank position. And then once you're in your plank, come onto your forearms for serratus push-ups. So you're in a plank position here on your forearms, and you're gonna lower your whole body down to the ground by drawing your shoulder blades together and then pressing up and away. Hug or shrug your shoulders down and then lift them up and away. 3 more like that. This whole plank moves up and down, not just your hips or your chest. Good, and then pike your hips, try to bring your hands back onto the mat so you're in a down dog if you can, good. And then take a big stretch here. Nice, and then from here, just go ahead and take an inhale. On your exhale, float forward into a plank. Hold for 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, come back into your down dog. Take a breath. Inhale again, exhale, flow right forward into your plank. Hold for 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale, come back to your down dog. Let's do that 3 more times. You're gonna float forward, wrapping the abs. Hold for 3, and 2, and 1. Come right back. Big breath in. Exhale, float forward. Hold for 3, and 2, and 1. Hips come high. You have 1 more. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your shoulders over your wrist. You're in your plank for 3, and 2, and 1. Hips come back up to the ceiling. Walk your hands back to your feet. Keep your neck nice and heavy. Nod your head yes. Let it go and shake it. No, 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 no. I don't want to do Pilates, Jenny. But you do, right? Bring your head to still. Bend your knees slightly. Tuck your pelvis and roll all the way up. 1 bone at a time. Roll your shoulders back. Good. Let's end with Little Mermaid. So come to sit down.
Sit down or kneel?
You can just sit. We won't do the fancy transition. We'll just get into our mermaid position. So if you're sitting on Bianca is on the right side of her mat, so actually put your feet on the other side of you. If you're on the right side of your mat, you want your feet to the right side of your body. And your ideal is for both hip points to be down on the mat the whole time. Now reach so far away from your feet that you can't go anymore, so you find your hand on the mat. And then you find your elbow on the mat, and then you lift your opposite right arm up and over to the left side. Try to close your rib cage a little bit more here, Bianca. So resist reaching over and opening the front of the body. Try to keep it nice and long on this side by closing the front. Good, and then use a little bit of momentum pushing off that mat to come back to center. And let's take that again. Reach so far, and then find your hand on the mat, find your elbow on the mat, reach up and over by lifting your low ribs away from the ground as if there was like a poker coming out from the ground. You don't want to get poked. That would be bad. And then use a little bit of momentum, press up and away, come back to center, sit up tall, re-engage that opposite right hip down, and then we'll do 1 more time. Reach to the left, find your hand, find your forearm, lift up and over for your 3rd mermaid here. And then press back up to center. Put your right hand down, lift your left arm up, and take your counter stretch. And same thing here, try to keep those ribs nice and shut. There you go. I think we're getting some hearts.
Hearts.
I think. I can't really tell, but it looked like something was going across the top. Thanks for your hearts. We love you too. Okay, come up to stand. Carefully, I don't care how you get there. And then move to the other side of the mat. Good. And then have a seat. Your feet, you're on the left side of the mat, so your feet will go to the left side of you. Sit up very tall. Try to get both sits bones down. We'll do 3 mermaids. Reach to the right. Find your right hand on the mat, your right elbow on the mat. Lift up and over into your mermaid. Yeah, good. Bianca just made a good adjustment by dropping her hip down into the mat. Beautiful. And then use your pressure on your right hand to push up and away. So it's a little bit of like an effort, right? Reach, 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 find your hand, find your forearm, and lift up and over. I would say that would be called pushing away from that to use use some spirit or invigoration for this movement, right? Good, and then do it like you mean it, push up and away. Good, sit up tall, put that hip back down, reach so far, put your hand, put your forearm, and lift away from that poker. It's like a game of Mario or something where you don't want to get burned. Good. Good. 1 more breath here. On an exhale, use that little push to press off and away and take your counter stretch. Yeah, that was a good adjustment too. So here, it's like kind of easy to let that hip heel up, but you want to keep it down and away. So it's a two-way stretch in the body. That's the opposition. Come back to center. And you're all done, my friends. Good work, good work. Yeah, oh, that was like such a good high
That was
five.
a really good high five.
Wow,
Yeah.
we're awesome.
It's because of Pilates.
It's because of Pilates. Hi. Hello, hello. Oh yeah, okay, time for wine. Time for wine. We love wine. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friends. Have a wonderful evening.